Ho, ho, ho. Let me see if my music works. Holy shit. It's coming out the wrong output. Oh my god. Why do I have two? Huh. Okay, anyways, feeling a little bit better today. I'm still pretty tired. And given the progress so far, I might as well stick to this and just get it out of the way. So just to recap, we do have some blocks to consolidate, some information to consolidate into the blocks for the website. And I'm currently doing also a little bit of a minor refactor of the analysis engine. Analysis engine is probably gonna be a lifelong thing at this point. I just need to get the scripts done. Okay, let me rephrase. I just need to get the pipeline of the data that we described the other day done and have like one or two scripts to demonstrate to serve as an example. Then that would be that. Shit, I lost my stuff. Where is it? Where'd it go? As always, today's stream is gonna be kind of yappy because I'll just be talking out loud, right? So there's gonna be two things that happens concurrently today. The refactoring is gonna happen in the background. I switched over to Claude, and it's a lot better at sort of doing planning and also getting more complex systems down. But I've currently used out all my context limits, which apparently isn't that high, I guess. But it's a lot more capable, so that's nice. So for that, the limit resets at 10, so we have 30 minutes before it resets. And then once it resets, I'll just get it to start its own jobs. And then it will continue doing its own thing and self-validating its own performance and stuff. In the meantime, I'm just going to be writing our own blocks that I can do. Well, I have to do this one by hand, of course. And then the hope is that by the end of the week, website will be completely done. All the blocks and everything will be done. All the information will be as consolidated and as up to date as possible. And then the script side will be a lot more robust, along with whatchamacallit. All the markdowns done. So anyways, let me just clear out my side purpose. I don't remember if this file. What is this file for? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, also because Enfield updated, I figure I might as well do some gachaing later. Because I do intend to pull for a soup lady. Although, maybe I'm not sure actually. Because there are the free tickets too, right? Maybe we should wait for the free tickets first. And that's gonna take a week of login bonuses, I think. Let's see. I gotta take a look. I'll take a look at the Enfield stuff on stream later. So, right. Anyways, so the work that I'm doing today by hand manually is just mostly consolidating the information I have here. There are a few pieces of documents that I think I should consolidate the information of and then push it up online so that it's a little bit easier to reference and say, and also to edit over time because it's easier to work off of the same base that way. That's all. Communications. To-do list will also be nice, actually. Shit, I don't even know where to start. So yeah, where do I even start with this? Also, how should I present this? I'm also not too sure. Okay. Need to reorganize my desk a little bit. Bit of a different workflow than usual, of course, and my setup isn't quite suited for this. Gonna make it a little bit better here. Tablet might fall today. Dang it. Ooh. Okay, so the plan here is to just start consolidating information here. So we have a lot of these layers and stuff, and also stuff that were extracted out and not extracted out. I want to have all the information sort of condensed down to a few documents here, and then that would be that. I'm not very clear in my head right now, so it's gonna take a while as I get started. The source content, so this is the base sequence here, and then we have our document files which are in the reference. Okay. All right, let's start. 00 def. .jpeg. This is story writing / character design / world building. Maybe not philosophy, more methodology. 00 process, 00 style. These ones are very confused. Analysis engine, stylization, 00 stylization as the So because there's a lot of information that I need to condense, we're gonna just list it out first because yeah, this I do need it to be very clear first before we can condense information down and understand what pieces of information go where, because they all have their own sort of spots, and they should all fall under the same umbrella somehow. So style classification, style alignment. Sorry, what was the last thing? Wasn't it multiple? Oh, it's the design sequence that we never started. Oh, okay. Idea sequence. Live 2D anatomy. Overall web design UI. So there's multiple groups here. There's the art itself. There's the journey and stuff. Slash Cool. So we're starting to see some patterns in terms of information, and then over time it should be able to come out with the bigger categories, and then after that, be a lot more clear about what this is. So here is the really dense piece of information thingy. Okay, let me see, what do I have here? We have the art direction, auto style, reference targets. Favorite set of color, how far to go, what the hell is this nonsense? Who wrote this shit? Oh, sorry, this is the planning. I remember what this was. I never quite figure out, huh? We went quite far from this, I guess. It's not great. Self-learning, self-criticism. Understand. Yeah. I wonder what's the best way to frame this. It's some of these pieces of information feel like they're related. Something else feels like some of them feels like they can also be separate a little bit. Uh, this one is a bit early, I think. Hmm. Primarily just that. Huh? Okay. This should be here then, I think. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff here. Journey organization well, it's a little bit different, I say. Oh, music ended. Next one. Is it 10 yet? Okay, I think I've gotten a little bit ahead of myself. I do need to just go through everything here and figure out what every piece of information falls under, and then we start consolidating information. Hello, Devay. Looks like some kind of a hash. Anyways, good stuff. Looks a little spicy. Let me put it in the thingy. Interesting colors, of course, right off the bat. It's it is out there. Oh. Looks like they're writing like some kind of a story with the thing, with the different images here. I wonder how this is presented. Is this like a book? Certified Duvet Classic. Oh my god, this is very certified indeed. Man, I don't really know what to do with this. This is kind of hard. The colors are kind of out there. The comms are kind of out there. The usage of the textures and the way things are rendered, everything feels very very different. A rare moment of airbrush. A lot of airbrush here. A lot of big soft edges. Yeah, I don't know what to think. Like, this is very overwhelming. It's like the other extreme, and compared to your other recommendations today, like where compared to the more simple and effective and slightly more messier and unpolished styles. Man, I can really feel like, oh wow, very certified. Oh wow. Oh my god. Very cool, Deve, very cool. I can really feel the difference between coming in, drawing, and warming up that way versus coming in, deciding that I'm just gonna code and write stuff and think about stuff. There's a huge difference in my ability to sort of process stuff like this. I can't process today. Like, nothing is reading. I'm not noticing shapes. I'm not noticing colors. I'm not noticing edges. I'm not noticing stylizations and proportions and stuff. It's actually kind of insane. The difference that it makes. People always talk about left brain, right brain, and stuff like that, artistic versus analytic, that kind of stuff. There is quite a difference between being warmed up and not. Very distinct. It's very interesting. Looks like Harry Potter. Yeah, I guess that's the stuff I'm noticing. Just faces. 2025. Oh, man. They look like they're very effective too, still though. Even if something is a little bit more polished like this. It's so fast, it feels like. Training out so many things. They can cook indeed. Very cook. Oh yeah, thank you, Duvet. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up, like in terms of what you like about this, perhaps? This artist? If not, I'm just gonna hop back onto my my nonsense over here. What the? They're good? They are good. Yeah, very good indeed. What's the writing? Try to be ready with them. That's it? I see. Thank you, Duvet. Sorry, today is a bit of a... there's two things going on here today. We have the refactor going on. Like yesterday I was talking about the structure and stuff. But the structure has gotten so complicated and convoluted that the ChatGPT that wrote it is not able to really perform it up to standard anymore. So I swapped one. We spent some time talking about design. And then in the middle of the refactor, it died. Because it ran out of context. The usage is really high. So I'm just gonna let this run while I myself am consolidating data for our blog here. So basically all the stuff that I've talked about, all the documents and stuff that we've written out over the course of the past 300 streams, I'm trying to consolidate the information in a way that is more organized. And then I'm gonna dump it onto the website. That way the website can be officially marked as done for now. But any more involves just adding either more design or adding more art. But it's at least for what it has is complete, and then we can let it go for now. And then the same thing for the other stuff that the cloud here is doing. As long as it's able to do the refactor, may rewrite the orchestrator code, get it to work the way we want it to, in a clean and organizable and maintainable way. It doesn't matter if we don't have any really cool functionalities at this point. That can also temporarily be marked as done. Then we can go back to doing art. So I might as well just take the rest of the weekend, just consolidate and make sure everything is good. Do a fully focused sort of week on just getting this sorted out. Because otherwise, like with the amount of time I have available outside of stream and work, it's not possible to do anything good, and it will forever be a big mess. So yeah, that's currently what's happening here. So I'm going through, so there's multiple pieces of information scattered across everywhere. We have, of course, the images that I've, some of the notes that I've taken and pulled out. These ones are a little bit more sort of complete and cleaner and more organized. There's also these, a lot of pure reps, and some of them contain some information. I'm not going to go through all of them. Specifically, the Live 2D ones are pretty heavy in terms of some design ideas. The idea board has a lot of different ideas as well. Stylization as well has the journey, keeping track about journey, as well as some more sort of style alignment, stuff like that. Over here we have a lot of document about sort of story writing, what is this process, like some of these are pretty outdated. Right, recording of the stuff like that. Yeah, it's a lot of information. I don't think I can consolidate everything out today, but we need to identify the big categories so that things can go and be adjacent to other pieces of information, so that I, number one, know if there's duplicate information. Number two, if there are issues with other stuff should just be easier to read and just consolidate it. Hello, Uni. Yeah. Isn't that kind of early for the pools yet? Because they're like free tickets, isn't there? In the lock-in bonus, is there free tickets? Are there free tickets? Because I wanted to do the gacha later actually today, since I'm also updating. The servers are currently down for for me, actually. The last time I checked, it was down until another hour later. But yeah. I do kind of want to pull for Soup Lady, and then I want to pull for oh, and it's out now. Oh, okay, that's cool. Interesting. I probably won't do it right now. I need my brain and my focus here. I probably actually can't talk too much because this is very information dense that I have to sort out. But yeah, like stuff like free posts, they changed it. You can get 5 posts over the first 3 days. Oh, okay, that's nice. Yeah, I think I might have to wait for the thing for all the free pools first before 20 from here out of orbs finish after this you finish rolling. Wait, did you get her yet? I'm here after doing my soup pools. I was assuming that with that you meant that you've already finished. I already gotten her. Guess not yet. Oh. Oh. I see. Ceiling of 120, huh? I somehow feel like 120 posts is kind of like a little bit kind, but I don't actually know if it's true. I feel like the ceiling for some of the other ones are a little bit crazier. Isn't Genshin like you can, even when you hit the pity, you can still miss the 50-50 again or something? Unless that's also the case for us, I'm not 100% sure. Doesn't carry over between banners. I see. You can lose to the next barrier guarantee the character. Uh-huh. Interesting. That's just to do like animation OBS plugin. Yeah, today is very much just me typing and consolidating information. It's kind of boring for you guys, I think. What kind of efficiency, proficiency, like 2D, direction, reference, or local conclusion to the stream. Sketches that I want to complete, like animations, OBS plugin plus chat monitoring. That's the other stuff. Fame main. Oh no, that's the Fame main piece. Next week, scheduling. I don't know what I'm writing, so I'm going to ignore website plus the other stuff. Actionable scheduling, original studies, apply versus goofing off. Right, the difference between working and working. Not OBS for Slow stream music splits. Right, so those are already done. I'm not gonna write down stuff that I'm done, I guess. It's hard to YOLO roll in this row. You really save and roll only when you get everything 120. I see. Oh man. I hope I hope they don't release any more characters that I want to pull for. Holy shit. I don't know if I can resist, honestly. I'd be inclined to go for as many as to go for all the ones that I would like to have, but then it's kind of ridiculous. I feel like Soup I can still kind of stomach pulling for her, even though I'm not really gonna use her. Rossi I'm actually gonna use because my team is physical, so that justifies it. Everything else after I'm not really sure about. Yeah, the Green Onion Girl. The Green Onion Girl is kind of interesting. But like, wasn't it speculated that her sort of her onion dragon sort of form is like a different pool, kind of like how eventually like Chen would get like a 6-star release again or something. So I don't know. I guess I'm not rich enough to just pull for everybody. So as much as it's fun to think about having all the limited characters. Oh, it's a totally different character, right? I'm not 100% sure. I think that's that's her transformed or some shit. But they never really mentioned. Did they mention it? But I guess it's implied, because she is like the head of the Wuling area. Man, god damn it! I have to redo the factories, don't I? My god. Oh my god. Artist still only has one floor. We still need to. The fuck am I writing, bro? Holy shit. I cannot read my own handwriting. What does it say? Consolidated life's lesson for art. Art model, actionable, design. Okay, whatever. If I can't read, it's probably not that important. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Alright, what is this? Okay, notes is already done. Consolidated. Server is drawing events, daily, weekly, monthlies, drawing prompts and quests. Drawing prompts, quests, prompts, economy, how get what for, and then how everything works, streaks, points, and coins. Resets, no resets. Doing a quest, 95 farm. What the fuck am I writing? Oh shit. Anyways, what is this? Reference requirement. Okay, so this is very short-term planning stuff. Anatomy, fabric, and hair. Right, so I was trying to tie down on the minimum required set of stuff to go into doing something. So that form will be her art. I see. Oh, actually, that's a good point, right? She can stay in that form like Livotin does. Like the ice cream lady. Very cool. We have Soup Lady. We have Ice Cream Lady, who's a fire character. Very cool. We have the Green Onion. I don't know what we will call Rossi. That's also what. Who else is there? Yvonne. Oh man, Yvonne. The only thing I can think of Yvonne is just where the tail is. Holy shit, that tail is like so high up. Who's the other 6-star? There's Levotine, Yvonne, and dang, I can't remember. Holy shit, there were 3 of them, right? Oh man, GG. Yeah, no, I think about the horns a lot. I really do. Like, it's so annoying. Like, think about the fact that you have a tail, so you can't lie on your back. Think about the fact that you have horns, so you can't lie on the side. Also, yeah, they just kind of appear from the hair. But the same thing can be thought of. Like, I guess the same thing happens with like animal ears too. There's always like hair on the inside of the animal ear. They never fully commit to have like a hole there. So that doesn't really make sense. I will full commit. I guarantee. I want to full commit, at least for the animal ears. I'm not sure about the horns, how they work. But I guess the horns would be a lot easier because you're just connecting it to the skull, rather than having like ears where you have to literally dig a hole into the brain. Actually, I don't know how that's gonna fit. How does animal ear work? I guess it's behind the brain for animals. Huh. Anyways, suspension of belief, am I right? But suspension of belief. Actually, that's an interesting point, right? Like, at some point in your story, you kind of have to suspend belief. But then how much is too much, right? How distracting... How much is too much before it becomes distracting? Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I can suspend the belief as to like, hey, where exactly are the horns connected and whatnot. But like the fact that it is on the side and they can't sleep on their sides is so annoying. So Yvonne literally needs to face front. But didn't they give her like really big boobs too? So she can't sleep at all. Like what was she supposed to do? She needs to be floating in like some kind of like suspension. It's impossible. Like that's crazy. They need like a custom-made bed, I guess. Water chamber, yeah. Like a freaking vampire, like Daredevil in the coffin with the water. Think about it. Oh my god. If I can just consolidate all of the layers that I have in my thing, go through everything I've ever written, and just put it onto this piece of document, and then I can at least have a peace of mind to know that everything is in one spot, and they're all organized in the same under the same set of titles and stuff. That'd be nice. I have to worry about missing some stuff. Oh, I didn't pay the tributes. Wait. You can't say that. If that's the case, I'm not gonna get Rossi because I didn't finish that sketch I made of her either. Holy. Oh no. colors equals Q2 colors and ideas, right? So it's ideas, render quality, compromising. Why draw this piece? Correct set of colors. Take away illustrations, ideas, portrait. I keep doing this. I'm just gonna put this somewhere. Lit. What the fuck is lit copy? This is information consolidated. IMD. And oh, sorry. What's my shit saying? What's this guy doing? Are you done yet? The rewrite is complete. Everything accomplished. All the modules previously shared utils. Trying to get it to I'm trying to do two things at once here so we can save some time here. Okay, there was this piece, take away talent illustrations, lighting from skin and warmth. Right, so what the mood is, question mark, draw this. So that was planning perspective for that one piece that we didn't complete, of course, as always. So current evaluation due to inexperience, either hit some limit, go to next. All right, so this is improvement. Right, hits limit, right? Does it say allow bash? Yes. Uh. Is it running it correctly? Oh no, it should be. Oh, nice pathing. It's using the. It's probably using Linux pathing. Because we're on Windows, it doesn't really work that well. What's this say? Lomao? My environment is not very friendly. Every time it's complaining about Windows environment. Nonsense. Yeah, so this evaluation experience current mood just seen. So it's under here, I think. Should I play next? And why are there 5 of you guys here watching me do this? Oh, everything checks out. Schema version run status. Oh well, if you say so, I'm gonna run the full test actually, or see if this actually works. So, oh, I think I moved it in. So process features is the main script that runs this entire background stack here. So it looks like it is able to process the stuff. We have some skipped and some failed. I'm not really sure why. It doesn't really report it. Enable every thousand, huh? Let's see if it checkpoints correctly then. Previous output loaded. Actually, is it running the new script still? Skip 1,000. So there's about 1,000 something that aren't images at all. That's why it doesn't work. We have 4 workers. Default per feature worker. I don't know what that is. Checkpoint. Feature error. That's not good. Is that a failure then? So if I stop this process here, I'm expecting it to restart either at the 1,000 mark or the 1,500 mark. And what happened here? So that was my previous start. This is previous restart. Yeah, it's having some issues. It looks like it treats it as completed or something. And of course, if I were to deal with this manually, there would be no point. So I'm just gonna do this. And then I'm gonna go back to doing my own thing. Alright, so receive that's a whole. Uh, this one, huh? But it is the same, right? Alright, what is this next piece of document? What is this? Whatever makes it easier, right? So this is a thing over here. What is this thing? What am I writing? Holy shit. Oh, 10 hours. What? What does that mean? I don't know what that is. It's gonna need a lot of formatting changes down the line. Not worry about that for now. What did it do? Oh, I see. Feature seek jobs interface. So it's updating the v2. Okay, that makes sense to me. That would explain why the printout looks exactly the same. Looks like it's stuck. Yeah, oh my god, what the fuck is it doing? Sorry, let me just, yeah, let me just, broski. Something weird is, actually I should stop saying this, it seems to be stuck. Should be, CTY is printing the same over and over until I don't have to say anything honestly, but yeah, technically, yeah, more computer engineering. But by the way, none of the stuff that I'm doing has any relationship to computer engineering. Computer engineering work looks very ridiculous, honestly. I mean, like at a glance, it doesn't really look that different to what we kind of do with in terms of coding and all that nonsense. Sorry, where'd it go? But the whole point of computer engineering is this is what I used to do. This is what my degree was. So, oh yeah, FPGA. So what you have here is you literally stare into the matrix. So, how should I explain this, right? Like at a very high level, right? A very simple way to think about this is that you have circuits, right? You have these circuit boards. These circuit boards, you have to design them. Sorry, let me just be clear, right? Computer engineering is more about designing chips rather than the board itself. The board layout and stuff like that is kind of part of it, but I didn't do any of that because there's entirely kind of like a different specialization, if I remember correctly. But within these chips, you have a lot of logic gates. You've probably heard of logic gates, right? Those things that figures out the ones and zeros. The way you describe it and create it is you write code. So the code, if you look at the code that is being done here, they're running sequentially. So they run line by line by line by line. But then these guys do not describe sort of logic in the traditional sense. They don't do line by line. The way that these code work is that they are using text to describe what the physical layout of the circuit is like. So it's not quite like this. I don't know what to call. I forgot what's it called. Yeah, so logic circuits more like this. Except this is a little bit slightly a little bit higher level. I think I can't remember if you're writing specific. No, you're not writing specific transistors. But anyways, they're writing out designs like stuff like D latches, stuff like that. So stuff like this, right? This is one of the ways of storing data. But in any case, you'll be writing a bunch of these kind of modules, and then they will all tie together. And then the signals here represents the signals on a specific line. So you have all these lines here, like the DE and the SR. You will be sort of keeping track of what these signals are like, what they're doing at any point in time. You want to make sure that they're transitioning correctly. The timing of the transition, they all need to tie up and have meaning in a specific way. And then you'll use these components to build small components like this, and then you will take these smaller components to build something larger, like a RAM, for example, right? And then you start storing more and more data. A RAM essentially is just a bunch of these latches stacked together, and you're storing bits basically in each one of these. And then depending on how you set up the circuit, like what circuit you turn on and off, a different set of bits, right? So this is 1 bit, 1 bit, 1 bit, 1 bit. A different set of bits will be sent to the output, and then you can read that. That's computer engineering. So computer engineering in general is just very abstract and very far away from like the layman, because these are the things that you absolutely do not ever see, because this is like it's not very useful. The useful stuff is the stuff that you build on top, right? Stuff like websites. If you look at the entire computer architecture, Yes, actually. Well, TIS 100 specifically is more assembly code, if I remember correctly, because I actually did play the game a little bit. Let me just check. This is more assembly code. So assembly code will be the code that is running on top of those circuits. And then like Shenzhen I have never played, but yes, this is pretty much it, right? This is a lot closer to the stuff that I just described, the hardware part of computer engineering. This is a little bit more of the software, quote unquote, part of the computer engineering. So essentially, you have assembly, and then you have your what's that thing called? Single cycle CPU. I forgot what it's called. There's a special name for it. But a CPU at its core is a single cycle processor. So you will learn about stuff like this in computer engineering. What a single cycle processor is, multi-cycle processor is, what is pipelining, stuff like that. And assembly essentially is a set of this is maybe not very useful anymore, but assembly language, right, is represented in like ones and zeros, right? I think you guys always hear about, say, like computer speaks in ones and zeros, but what does it really mean to speak in ones and zeros? Is that you have these instructions, and these instructions are converted to bytecode, which are essentially just ones and zeros. I don't know if there's a specific bytes. Yeah, so you get these numbers here. These are in hexadecimal. So these numbers, each letter here represents a singular, sorry, not a singular, but a set of bits. So you can put them in here, and you will see that, oh, decimal value. Sorry, my bad. You will see that they convert to a set of bits, and then each range of bits has a different set of meaning. So these bits represents the signals of ones and zeros for specific channels here, and these guys are fed into specific control signals here. And then using those bits, you're controlling how data flows through the different components by using physics, by the way. Inside these components are your transistors. They're using physics. So when there's a voltage on one line, certain signals can pass, certain other signals cannot pass. And then those signals get then, those ones and zeros then funnel down to the next thing, and then the next thing and the next thing, and so on and so forth. And that's how computation is done at the very core of the computer. That's what computer engineering is. Computer science is like the stuff that you use then to build stuff that people actually use. So essentially what's happening is that it's actually very interesting, because in my lifetime, I have dealt with everything from the highest level to the lowest level. You speak of highest level and lowest level, not as in terms of like skill level, but just in terms of how far everything is. So if you have like highest level and lowest level, the user is at the highest level. And then at the very lowest level, you have the hardware. And at the very lowest level, you have your circuits, which is what we're talking about, your CPU, your GPU, your RAM, exactly how they're defined. And then at this level, you have your sort of more assembly, I guess, like the machine code, what they call the machine code. This is your ones and zeros. Like this. And these signals are used to drive this. And then at a slightly higher level, you have stuff like operating system. So this is your kernel. I believe there are some more stuff in between. I can't remember. I forgot if stuff like interrupts and stuff. Oh, so assembly code. No, assembly is the interrupts and stuff, right? It's the ABI and all the protocols at that level, right? And then on top of this, you have your. Sorry, let me just make a marker here. So this is, well, I think traditionally it's kind of demarcated like this, where everything below this line is more considered hardware. So these things are more hardware. Over here, you have more of your software level, but then you have your OS, and then you have your other applications on top like this. Computer science deals mostly over here, whereas hardware deals mostly over here. I think it's missing some stuff here and there. Yes, the higher you go, the more abstract things become, right? A lot of things become easier, right? Because at the lowest level, you're talking about voltage. You're talking about literal voltage. And then at this level, you're representing voltage with ones and zeros. And then at this level, you're representing ones and zeros. Well, technically at this level, maybe you can split this, right? You have machine code ones and zeros, and then assembly is like a way of representing that in text, right? And then over here, you're representing groups of assembly language. So, for example, if you have like a coding code here, let's say C language or something, right? These are not strictly higher or lower, by the way. But C language is like in a sort of keyword, right? So ones and zeros as text, right? And then you start to group them together, and they become more and more meaningful that way. And it becomes easier to write more and more complex stuff. That's why you also have higher level and lower level languages, because stuff like C is a lot lower level language compared to stuff like JavaScript, right? Because JavaScript, you have stuff where you have very specific library functions that are exposed, and these are basically sort of wrapping certain functionalities of lower level languages into a single keyword, like for example .map, stuff like that. I don't know if they actually have .map in JavaScript, by the way. They tend to have something similar anyways. So depends on where you are. Computer engineer and electrical engineers exist around here. Electrical engineers are slightly different in that they don't normally deal with hardware per se. They deal with the power infrastructure, but they also depends on, I guess, the courses you take might touch on some of these things. Because there's a lot of electronics in here as well. There's a lot of electrical engineering knowledge that you need to know. My main language, English. I'm not joking, because I'm not very good at coding. The one thing I learned in university is that you don't necessarily have to be a good coder. You just have to be very good at reasoning your ideas. You have to be able to understand what you're achieving, and then the choices that you can make in that sort of problem space, in your solution space. You identify different things you can choose, identify the trade-offs, and then the execution, that part usually there's a little bit more leeway, right? Because it's not about memorizing equations, it's not about memorizing the code and the language and the syntax. It's about being able to identify the logic, and then the implementation can be done however you want it. You can spend, well, ideally not like 5,000 hours trying to write a simple for loop, right? But that part is really kind of not very. If there's I don't want to learn programming. Sorry, I don't know if I'm I don't know how I come across, but I didn't pick computer engineering or programming or any of this because I like it per se. There is a certain amount of power that it provides you, because once you can create things, stuff like making websites, stuff like making all of these things, these become very, very powerful. You can make a lot of things happen. Any aspect of your life you can think of, you can maybe automate a little bit of it, right? But as a whole, I don't know if I can say I really like programming, because it's not really that fun. It is mostly just work for me. So I don't know. But if you want to ask, if I were to have to answer that question, if there is a programming language that I would like to learn and get better at, it might be Python, right? Python is a very high level language, but the reason why it's really good is because there's a lot of math and science related libraries in there. Anything that you have to do that does a little bit more useful and abstract and complex processing is usually done. There's usually a library for it in Python. I'm not saying it's necessarily the best choice, right? There's going to be a lot of debate about this, because usually the lower level you go, the faster you can make something, right? If you can write machine code, you can write really, really efficient algorithms. It would just be really, really, really hard, right? Because you can imagine, like, the more control you have, the harder it is, but the more optimization you can do, right? It's the same thing. Python may have a lot of libraries, but they may not necessarily be the fastest. But as a layman, as just a person who doesn't really enjoy the process, but just want to get things done, Python is really good. You will see that a lot of things here is MJS, but that's just because the web stack runs on JavaScript. But then a lot of the feature scripts eventually will probably just be in Python, actually. You can actually see it here. So there's count green pixels, right? This just counts the number of green pixels in the image. And all it does is that it takes the RGB value, right? And then it just counts pixels, right? It takes the RGBA values, and then it just checks against the rules of what is considered a required amount of green. And then there's dominance margins. I don't know what this nonsense is. This comes down to the math and less of implementation. this is maybe why it doesn't really work that well. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's like a bit of a mess. Sorry, is this running? Interrupted? Yeah, it's still kind of stuck, huh? I'm not really sure why it's getting stuck. This is very odd behavior. Also, I'm not really sure if it's truly stuck or if it's actually still processing, but just not able to print. Yeah, it's still stuck. So this is the part where AI kind of fails because it's unless it's able to instrument into the actual process and figure out what the code is actually, what the processor is actually processing, it's not really able to debug this part. I will actually have to read the code and try to understand what it's getting stuck on. Yeah, this is not great. But today's main objective is for me to write out more of the art related side. Yeah, by the way, this part here is quite interesting because you have this split and then you have the networking layers as well. Yeah, I can get into this some other day. It's interesting because I didn't really specialize properly. The most usually employers want you to specialize in something, so you're good at one thing, right? That's how you find a job. But the problem is that I didn't do that. I took a lot of different courses, and I touched basically everything up and down the stack, including electrical engineering. So electrical engineering, computer engineering, there's networking, there's apps, right? Stuff like making websites, making what was that project? It's like smart contracts. That's the Ethereum stuff. That's also signal processing, using very expensive oscilloscopes to check the signal strength and stuff like that. The machines that we used to use, by the way, apparently they're 300,000 per machine, 330,000 per machine. That was like the cost of a Ferrari. And none of them seems particularly fun, I think. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes when I'm doing this evaluation whether if I just don't find them fun or if because I'm just constantly really tired. I think at some point in my life I've gotten pretty depressed, and as a result a lot of things just kind of doesn't really feel fun anymore. There's a bit of numbness to everything that I do, and because of the numbness it's a little bit hard to really see the fun side of it, I think, because you know you tend to be a little bit more emotionally numb, and then the negative things definitely stick out a lot more, so everything just kind of gets poisoned over time. Oh, it works now. I don't know what I fixed, but apparently it works now. Yeah, I want to do 50 different art related things. I think the art related things is more of just a absence of direction because my own goals are a little bit too vague. If my own goals are really like just like get 100,000 followers on Twitter, then all I have to do is just draw one piece every day and put it up, make it a popular character and show some skin, and I'm sure we'll get there in like a couple months, you know. Is it okay? Okay, so you're noticing that there's two lines being printed here. There's a line here that's about the color pixel color sets. This is running in parallel with this skin pixel GPU process. Despite it being on the GPU, it's actually a lot slower, primarily because of the coding. I think it's doing a lot of setup and teardown that is making it not very efficient. And it's probably also not running parallelism, like concurrency properly. But anyways, I need to test to see if it's capable of restarting. So right now you can see we stopped it at about 2.7k. The idea is that when we do it next time, it should show skipped 2.7k. But if it actually does it, it's an entirely different story. I'm also not really sure why it restarted with only 700 in the line here. So these are our problems, right? So we have scanned only candid what? Yeah, okay, this is not working correctly. So even though there's only 2.7 process before, oh no, but there's only 3,000. Wait, why are there only 3,000? There should be 5,000 total that we are processing. So only 3,000 got processed. My GPU process restarted, I think. And that is expected because the GPU doesn't checkpoint in the middle. So that is a limitation because it's delegated that work to the script itself, which doesn't do anything. But why does this have 5,000 then? Did this skip something? It might have skipped the stuff that we did before, possibly. That's why it didn't actually do everything. So I'm gonna resend this and ask it to verify behavior. This is just really stupid coding, by the way. But this is the whole point of getting the AI to do it, so I don't have to think about the logic. I don't see any, well, I keep seeing skip equals to 0, but based on the number of files processed by pixel count, we are clearly using data. Please verify prints. Right, sorry, very big tangent. I think it kind of sucked. Oh yeah, I also did mobile. Oh, I also did the I did mobile programming, like making apps. I did some Android stuff. I did some iOS stuff. iOS was a pain in the ass. Holy shit. But there was also some work done for Arduino. So Internet of Things. If you guys remember this keyword from like 5 years ago, everything was an Internet of Things. But I'm not trying to say this to show off. The thing I'm trying to establish here is that because of the wide range of experiences here, despite not being very good at any of them at all, like if you ask me to remake something that I've remade before, I won't be able to do it. But the good thing about doing this is that you get a really wide view of the entire stack up and down. So if I were to plan something, I have a good idea of what is and isn't possible. Like all of these things come together when if I want to make a project. Say right now we're just dealing with Live 2D, well, quote unquote dealing with. I guess I've been skirting around it for a while now. But the piece that we wanted to make, right? Live 2D, website, video, After Effects, everything composited together. That is still just the art stuff, right? We can also integrate other things like Internet of Things. We can have like a microprocessor. Is that called a microprocessor? I can't remember, but you can have one of those Arduino boards on my table and it can shine different colors. So I can click something on in real life. And you guys might potentially one day be able to interact with me physically because you guys can send something in the chat. We can monitor the chat and then we can send signals via Wi-Fi to this thing or Bluetooth low energy to a different microcontroller, and it's gonna be able to do something else in my room. And then there can be a camera that looks at the wall and looks at this microcontroller doing things. It can be a lot of stupid shit, but this is all only possible for me to dream and think about because I have this wide range of still somewhat useless experience at this point. Maybe one day we can put everything together, and I should probably stop thinking along these lines. I will never get anything done at this rate. But yeah, it's a trade-off, I suppose. I would say like there's a lot of regrets. I remember a long time ago in the past, me and my friend, we were talking about how we don't want to have a life of regrets, right? We don't want to have a bunch of regrets and looking back like, oh, we should have done this, done that. But then recently, I saw in like a YouTube short or somewhere that regrets is not necessarily a bad thing because it's a sign that you have become a better person. Like you have experienced more things and you have seen a better way to do what you used to do, right? That's why you have regrets. You wish you would have done it a different way. And so, you know, I guess that's an interesting way to think about it. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of times I wonder, well, I guess everybody does, right? I wonder like what things could have been if we went down a different path. Would have been interesting if I fully committed into one thing, right? Like I have a friend computer engineering, right? What does NVIDIA do? Computer engineering. I have a friend who does work in there. So, pretty good stuff, you know, considering we graduated quite a long time ago before AI started. It'll be a different life for sure. Other friends who fully committed into looking for jobs and looking for like those big fang jobs, right? The magnificent, was it Magnificent Seven? The Mag 7. I don't know. Everything could have gone very differently, I suppose. Yeah, he's still doing it. He's still doing it. NVIDIA is not really known for being very, sort of, shall we say, work-life balance friendly. Yeah, of course, depends on your team, right? But generally, companies have cultures. And I have to say, it's been my pleasure to work for some of the employers that I work for. Because they are more geared towards work. There's two types of work that I've noticed, in tech at least. There are the types that you really burn yourself out like crazy. You're like an investment banker. You work all hours of the day, and you're always on call, and you're always sort of worrying about the next feature that you have to do and the next thing that you have to do. But in return, you truly, truly, truly do take home like $300,000 a year. There are truly, truly quite a lot of jobs like that out there for tech. You have to be very good, but it's not impossibly good. You're not talking about top of the industry kind of good. Yeah, it's still top of industry overall, but you're not talking about like something that the layman cannot do. All right. And in those jobs, your whole point is to make enough money in 10, 20 years and just retire. Because you by then you probably also be kind of dead, right? For those jobs, you really have to either really like money a lot, or you have to like what you do a lot. And so it's a very specific type of person, which I cannot do. I absolutely cannot do. Even as much as I would like to be able to do so, right? And then there's the other kind of jobs, which are like the more traditional jobs, where you just work till you get to your retirement age. And then in these jobs, lives is a lot more relaxing in the sense that, well, depends on company again, but the range is, it tends to be on the more relaxing side. People don't necessarily expect you to be what people in the industry call a 10 times engineer, in the sense that you work 10 times, like 10 person. They don't expect you to always be very knowledgeable about what you're doing. They give you the benefit of the doubt. They give you time to figure things out. Things that you have done before, maybe you've forgotten, doesn't matter. Maybe the things you've designed are not necessarily the best and most robust design. That's fine, right? You're not going to get fired over that. So you just kind of put in your hours, you chug along slowly, and you have a life outside of that, you know. You get to come home earlier, you get to stream art, you get to talk to your friends and go out for dinner. Yeah, it's the kind of life you want, I guess. Good and bad things to either say. Yeah, talk to chat, I would say. For me, like, cause my goal was never, it's always nice, right? Like to think about, hey, if I were to be making like a bajillion bucks a year, I just work 10 years and I retire, and then I would invest, you know, I can do FIRE, right? Financial independence, retire early. I honestly, my lifestyle is so sort of I don't know if rundown is a good word, but I don't spend money on anything. I don't, there's nothing I want except the skills that I need to do what I want to do. So I can retire really, well, I don't know, maybe I can retire like off of just being able to pay my bill. If I go back to live with my parents, wow, I can maybe retire now. Holy shit. Just spend no money, just eat like rice and vegetables every meal, and pay your internet bills, pay your electricity bills, you know. And then all I have to do is spend time and just draw and figure out my process and figure out my everything. I don't know, man. Like it's choices and the cost of making those choices, I would say. Everything has a price. Just which one you want to pay. Would you say the guys that go fast track like that have anything to do after they retire? No, you can always find stuff to do, right? You can always find stuff to do. Like if you think about like people on, yeah, Wall Street, I was gonna say people on Wall Street bets. What kind of people are they? They're probably people like this, you know. They make enough money to retire and then they have a bunch of spare cash and then just start gambling. If you think about the fact that like there are people that kind of go shopping and go outdoors and go on resorts like during work hours, these are the probably kind of people that does that because they have the capital to do so. I mean, what you do after you retire, I think you can do anything. I don't know anyone personally that has retired that way, right? So I don't have any empirical evidence to show off or talk about. But if you have money and you have time, like, what do you like? Surely you can find something to do. How fulfilling the life is may depend, but I dare venture a guess that they're probably doing better than the rest of us who are grinding it out every day. I mean, they did put in their hours, I suppose. But interesting, very interesting. That's a different role, I imagine. Very different role. But not have to worry about the, I guess, your livelihood, right? Financial independence. True freedom is financial independence. True independence is financial independence. Right, sorry, I'm just going through all these documents, right? If you guys remember, over the past few months, I've written a lot of these things. But all the information that we have ever talked about is condensed into here. If I can just extract out and put them in the right spot, I can be a happy camper. And then I don't have to look at these ever again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Again, like a lot of these choices, you look back, you realize that there were a lot of choices that you have made in life. But then at that point in time, you don't really see that option, really. Sometimes you're just either of because you choose to ignore the decision making, or because you wasn't aware, or because you're physically or financially or socio-economically unable to do so. But there are a lot of choices that were made in your life, and choices that affect where your current state of being. Good choices, bad choices, kind of hard to say. Uh, Probably also not really worth the effort to think about it too much, but it is interesting. I think looking back, I don't know. I think with art is interesting, right? Because as an artist, all of us as artists, right, whatever that we do is sort of based on the experience that we have experienced ourselves. And as a result, it almost seems to sort of justify every single choice we made. Because if we can make art, make good art, right? And the art is because of these experiences, then you can reasonably argue that every choice that we made is also valuable and not wrong. I don't know if it's right per se, but not wrong. Right? I wonder if everyone else can say the same thing. I guess everything you do is a reflection of the choices and the experiences that you have. So everyone can make this argument, maybe. Anyways, um, not sure if there's any value in thinking about this. By the way, I guess philosophy is not necessarily very useful sometimes. Mm-hmm. Taking the wisdom out of life, one thing you should do in art. Not sure if I follow what you meant, but yeah, looking sorry, I'm jumping back and forth between talking philosophically and also about this very specific thing that we're looking at. I'm seeing a lot of the decision that I made before. They are logical, right? Because that's the basis of everything, but they're very narrow sighted. They're very short sighted, sorry. they're very narrow-minded. Not necessarily narrow-minded, just that I don't really see the whole picture. Like, I'm deciding on what the line should use and saying that it shouldn't affect the rendering style. But really, I should be taking a step back and thinking about what is the emotion and idea and feeling that I want to convey, and then deciding on all these things. Then naturally, you will never make a choice of choosing a specific way to draw the lines that will interfere with the rendering style. Because rather than choosing the line based on a style or whatever, you're taking everything and basing it off of the emotion and idea you want to convey. So like again, it is the question number 2, right? Like the question number 2 of why are you drawing this current piece? That is so important. Like these, I think, might have to be propagated to the top. Like this idea should be established first, and then other adjacent ideas come in, and then therefore like they can be framed in a more logical way when I'm presenting this document down the line. Yes, thinking more abstract. It's quite a dilemma, right? Because if you're executing, if you're doing things and executing actions, you want to be specific. You want to be very clear on what you're doing and why you're doing it. But then you have to also be a little bit more abstract in planning and feeling, because art isn't just about doing. And making things look impressive, right? It has to convey an idea and feeling. But let me see. Is this working now? I mean, it is running. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna rerun the entire stack to make sure that it is able to run it by itself. But before that, I'm going to sorry, this is the wrong thing. I'm going to look at its ability for the downstream. So npm package. Sorry, where the hell is my data set? I think it's these guys. I'm gonna nuke the entire data set here, which is not really that smart of an idea, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I'm not that smart. Delete. It's gonna take a while. So now that data set is gone, I'm going to reprep the data set here. So we have this data set package here. These scripts here actually are kind of useless. I might actually hide them. Let me just go hide them real quick. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. Actually, it's probably easier to find it here. No, what? Oh, because of the spacing. I bet it's a space there. There's a package.json here. I want these guys to disappear. I don't need them here. Can I comment in JSON here? Oh, you can. Never mind. Oh, no, you can't. Can you? Is this gonna crash? Yep. Alright, I guess I'm deleting them. I don't need them. Okay. So, what? So this command takes the output of the process numbers and is able to sort of send them into prepare the data set that we need to actually display on the front end. So I don't want PowerShell, bro. I keep forgetting the commands. Let's see, art map. Yeah. So this starts the web server for our mapping. I guess I don't need this anymore. Oh, I do need that. Sorry, I do need that. I don't have anything over here. So localhost. Right, so dataset not found. So currently I've deleted all the dataset. There's nothing to be displayed. If this is done correctly, so once all the data stuff is processed completely, we should be able to see everything working again as before. If it doesn't, that means our upstream here, our processing has some issues, and then we just go back and fix that. Sorry, I'll get it to fix that. I'm not gonna fix it. But in the meantime, we keep going, because this is gonna take a hot minute. This is generating all the thumbnails and also consolidating all the information that needs. For example, the what axes can you choose and whatnot. That's what that is doing. But we continue here in this nonsense. So, all right. So this is the specific information about how to study, I think. Also, before anyone points it out, at some point in time, eventually someone will point it out that I'm actually not following a lot of my own ideas and rules. These are more in hindsight things that I think would be the best, but because of how sort of distracted we are all the time, I don't really get a chance to really focus and try out a process that I'm describing here in over a long enough period of time to really validate if it's good or bad. It's just a very logical thing that I think would make sense to do, rather than actually tested and proven. But at the same time, it's still kind of based off of experiences, I suppose. Uh, it, so this one specifically, where I think I was thinking about studying stuff specifically, how is the best way to study stuff, like the difference between referencing a photo into illustration versus an illustration into illustration, right? This one you get to learn more of the specific artist's sort of personal style and preferences, whereas this one you get to make your own decisions about how to simplify and whatnot. Um, and then what else is this? Photo to dense. Photo is too dense, right? So difficulty. So ways to be easier. Sorry, this is an improvement mental model. This actually doesn't quite follow under here. This is more of a study section. And the improvements are kind of separate. So this, I think, logically comes before studies, because you want to know about improving and what it might be like before we talk about how to go about doing it. I think that would be more logically sound. So so you can see, like, this is really stupid, right? Every time I change the numbers, I have to propagate it down. Sorry, is my processing done? It is done. So is it working? No, it works. The problem with this way of working is that I don't truly know if there's any issues behind the scenes. But then because like Claude is actually, specifically Claude is actually very good at sort of doing coding. You can kind of just ask it to do like a code review, and then it is able to sort of figure out what is good and what is bad. This might be a little bit unnecessary. Okay, since we are done with this, I think this is actually the conclusion of the thing. So let me see, pixel color sets. Let me just go into the script here. Actually, I should do it here. I'm still not used to this keyboard because of the height of the keys. I got so used to using cheap $10 keyboards that my fingers are used to them being very flat. I keep hitting the wrong keys all the time. Load job system.argv. Okay, take the job entities. Entities is entity ID guess entity ID entity get entity ID. What is the entity here? What is load job? Details load job. Oh, I see. It returns the object entity ID. Oh, sorry. This is just a get call on the JSON object, I think. So it's getting this. Otherwise, it's unknown. And then entity ID is used to... Who's loading this? Oh, it's loading the entity. Oh, I see. Load image is a function too. I imagine it's here somewhere. Get source file. So it is loading this now over here. I think that's fine. That's fine. There's a lot of thought into the whole architecture behind this, because we need to account for as many things as possible without actually having done them yet. Because you want to get the structure, the infrastructure done in a very robust way, so that things don't just break down the line. But without doing the thing, you also don't really know what it means, like what kind of problems can happen. So it is quite the challenge. This happens every day at work as well. There's two different philosophies of doing computer science, at least programming at my workplace. One is you're always looking through and researching and planning everything out. This is what the big tech companies do, by the way. The big tech companies, they have a lot of people, but they release updates very slow. Because what they do is they have 20 people on a fucking team trying to review your design document. They're trying to figure out if what you do is the best way to go about doing what they want you to do. That's why it takes so damn long. But then in like other company, like a startup company, for example, they don't really care. They just do, they make it happen, make it work, make it good enough that the user cannot tell that there's a problem. Just send it. So there's like two different philosophies. That's the agile versus waterfall thing, I guess. But like it doesn't really fit into those that sort of methodology that cleanly. Because there are agile teams that does that sort of a review thing as well. But anyways, I'm not too knowledgeable on the thing. But from what I've heard, that's why they're very slow. It takes like 20 people to change the color of a button. Like YouTube changed color from like a very pure red into something that's a bit more magenta. I'm sure that change took like at least like 4 different teams to decide if that user experience change is worth it. And then they probably did A/B testing here and there. I don't know, it looks pretty good. I think everything that I was talking about is kind of in there. I'm actually going to ask it to so review the initial planning document as well as the code to verify that everything is in place. As proof, please provide a link to each snippet of code that does each planned step. Just a singular short snippet will do. So I'm going to verify the code changes manually here just to make sure that the... So we had a planning document somewhere. I forgot where I put it. Oh, here. No, not you. Wait, what? Oh, it is this. Where's the markdown preview? So this is the planning document for this. So it's talking about the purpose of doing this. Like, so the initial script has 2.4 thousand lines and it's very confusing, very hard to read, impossible to manage. And then we have a bunch of objectives and design location stuff about all the scripts. Everything is factored out. And then the schema for registration. So every single one of those scripts, they have a schema for registering what the output and input is. So the script is able to tell what it is able to do and what it's not able to do. So if this guy depends on a white pixel count here and this doesn't actually output it, it's going to throw. There are checkpointing logic, this schema outputs for intermediary data storing. Everything here. The API is between all the different scripts here. So I don't care too much about this. There's a lot of stuff here. So I'm asking it to just review. Oh, it's already done. Holy shit, so fast. Function acquire, available, promise, resolve. So this is very tricky because I don't really read JavaScript. I'm assuming it's actually in there because it's as long as it looks like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, it's fine. Because the AI will be even more sort of pedantic about whether if it's actually doing it or not. So if it's able to find something, it is good enough for me. Okay. Can you clean unused scripts from the features? Sorry, what is the folder? I think we're safe, right? I think we're safe. Because everything else is outside. So I'm going to ask it to do one last final cleanup and we're going to commit. And then that's actually that for this part. Pretty good, actually. It's very effective. Picture is dense, balance, overall win. Some of these points are a little bit too point form. I have no idea what I was talking about. I don't have the context anymore, so I don't know what it's saying, dude. Holy shit. be active scripts. Pixel color RGB data set, and as well as count skin pixel GPU. These guys also just only exist as an example, but I think it's fine for now. I don't want to be too particular about the particular setup at this point. Oh, Claude. What is lib? Oh, that's probably all the shared stuff. Shit, I'm gonna do this myself. No point spending the tokens doing this. What? Where is this damn thing? 2 levels up, right? Isn't it the base one? Oh, sorry. Maybe I don't do that. Alright. Actually, before I do this, there's one feature that I haven't yet tested. And it's this one. Uh-oh. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm just gonna commit first. And I'm gonna ask it to fix this. So after 2... This doesn't work here, huh? The markdown formatting on this chat window. Sorry, what? Why is this still green? Did I not? How come I didn't go in? Oh, sorry, it's outside. Ah, I'm so stupid. Is it add art map? Let it fix itself while I continue my nonsense here. I think this one is done. I just to make sure I didn't skip anything. I think I didn't skip anything. But these are just not very information dense. Or they're just very specific about certain things that I'm not too particular about. This is once again layering setup, I think. No, sorry, this is... Oh, this is workflow. This is progress again. I think I've come up with multiple different types of this by now, but I think we don't really have to worry about it too much because there is already one over here. Sorry, where is it? Here, the process, right? So I'll try to write this. So this is done. I think we don't have to worry about this. Now, what in the bloody hell is this? Oh, sorry, this is my coping mechanism. I don't think this is that important. I'm gonna include it here just so that we have accounted for it. This is legacy or something. I don't know. I wonder what my current coping mechanism is. I'm sure it's more obvious to you guys than myself. Oh, sorry, let's call this self, actually. I'm not mocking anyone here, but this is the best way to represent what this section should contain. And then this is done. So this are all the junk notes are accounted for. This is the to-do list. It was accounted for. Style is accounted for by this document already, so I don't have to re-account for it. So it's already here because that's what this is. The def process here is accounted for by def 00 and def 01. Sorry, 02. 00 def and 00 def 2. So that is fine as well. Q1, Q2 has been accounted for. I think that is fine. It's up top. Right. No need to be objectively right. So my god, it's stupid ass keyboard. Did we finish this? Did we fix this bug? Sorry, is this bug fixed? I didn't fix anything. Oh, it's fixed. Nice, dude. Very nice. Okay, so this is I didn't do anything. Oh, what's the difference? Oh, I just messed up the pathing. Oh, interesting. Okay, I mean that concludes the background sort of refactoring, I'm assuming. I'm not 100% sure unless I read the actual code. I cannot know for sure, but everything seems to be working fine. The effectiveness of which I guess we'll figure out down the line when we have a lot more processing to be done. So I'm just gonna ask it to do some generic work while we continue to do this because might as well. I'm gonna end up using up my limit in the next 30 minutes, I'm pretty sure, because this is gonna be very heavy. How do I close this? I just do anyone. Yeah, hopefully it has permission to read everything. I can't be bothered to, sorry, what? If not, it's gonna keep asking me to click buttons. It's kind of annoying, but, 2 directions for study, what to learn for what to portray, what to focus on, ignore color studies, or big brushes, ignore details. Right, we've already been over this multiple times, right? It's just that there are more sort of details here, which should also be included, but this kind of a pain in the ass to consolidate everything. I mean, I'm just going to ignore it for now. Process, right? We've already been over this. Process 2, I have not been over. Sorry, process has a file. I'm going to extract this then. Ref process v2. Okay, I just need to duplicate this. Although this is a little bit more of a mix bag of information, but it's fine. So inspiration. No, this is more junk. Okay, so inspiration, camera angle, done. Expression on the static thing in your head, multiple angles. Cool. This is chunk. Emo, right? Emotional management, right? So this is the part that is gonna fall under here about good tips and stuff. Oh, let me read my report. No exit. Are you telling me it's an infinite loop here? What? When bounds is undefined, is yours always percent true, so the inner if not bounds block is dead code that can never be looped. The loop has no safety cap. High priority. Not validated. Wait, don't check that's more than one. Honestly, I don't even know the explanation because I don't really know what I'm even looking at. Magic numbers. Is it? Oh, so this is the math, right? So this is the open, okay, the grid math. Alright, I literally don't know what's happening. So I have two choices. I can ignore them because they are kind of working. Or I can get it to fix them. I'm just gonna ask it to make a list. Eventually we can ask it to do it, but we don't have to do it today. What do my... Oh, god damn it. Yeah, here it is. How do I... What? How do you replace this thing? Wasn't I editing this? Where did I get this from? I might have corrupted my thing by doing two things at the same time, I think. Confused. Anyways, what do we got? Right, first one. Not me expectation. So this part is the most condensed part of the information here. In addition to this list of junk here. This is also a very long document here. Recap what was done. But yeah, like I'm gonna pack everything in here now. Move it to the other screen so I can see it here. This is accounted for. Open mechanism. This is accounted for. Recap video of what was done. So this is more like a video idea, I think. Not very important at this point. This is not important. Expectations, aspirations, timeline. Not sure what I'm talking about here. Incoherent mess. Abstractness of our computation. this is nonsense. This is other nonsense. 100 spectrum. It's not about very adjacent knowledge. It's all not very related. Sorry, this is all under our thing, I guess. Just ignore this junk here, by the way. I need to condense this some other time. So ball pit isn't really a very good example because it will tend to be distracted by the fact it's a ball pit. But anyways, disclaimer. Did I consolidate this up or not? Alright, so... Ooh, this is a spicy take. Let me see. Very specific application details here. I'm not really sure. This should probably be extracted out as well. Oh, sorry, stop plus choices is because there's a comment on this note here. So that's fine. Different software, different ideas and emotion, double check too. Pick line. This was just miscellaneous points. But I suppose they kind of fall under this. Eventually I'm going to consolidate this a little bit better. It's concise enough that I can just dump it here. Right, going about it yourself. Okay, this line is too long. Hey, Fontaine, it's been a while. Everything's kind of coming together. So like if a good, not necessarily a video, but like a good document that presents ideas should be well organized and as much as possible like things that should come first that can be used by the later points, right? But then there should be stuff like this, I feel like, where you can sort of be like, hey, you should do this thing, but if you're stuck, you can refer to this other section, and there's a whole section dedicated to how to sort of get better and whatnot. And this part can also be written a little bit better based on certain other links like this. Everything should be able to be chained together and become one cohesive sort of document like this. It's gonna take a lot of work to write, but currently the structure is pretty nice. I think everything we have ever talked about is somewhat accounted for. I'm not completely done yet though. No, not here. Mm-hmm. Ah, dang it. Do I not have a section for inspiration? I think I mentioned it somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Here. To B. Let's shift this to be 2B first because actually it doesn't matter. They both kind of come before or after each other. Doesn't really matter too much. Cool. What else do I got? Breakdown. So what it looks like with and without structure. At least well tuned. Um, right, so the mental model for art needs to be able to account for a lot of these issues. This is still not really quite there yet. As in as good as I think it is, it's still not quite there yet. But right. Okay, so we're reading analogy. No, don't care. Vicious cycle. Closing. Good news. Bad news. So this part, I'm probably gonna just get AI to help me consolidate because there are a lot of repeated points here. Oh boy. Let me replace this. Uh, the website design document. And then the process, right? Wow. Okay, we're close to consolidating everything we have. We're very close. But the final part is pretty hard to push for. So this here, has a lot of duplicate points. Oh, that's a very dangerous tab. You know what? Yeah. Just gonna make sure the tabs are done consistently here. Where the root level is and whatnot. And this is encompassed in here. So yeah. I did automatically. Okay, okay, I think there was one more thing in this other document that I want to move for. What was it? Mental model, right? No, it's not. Is it? Ah, no, this subjectiveness. Right, so this needs to be talked about. Like, it's like a lot of times where I wrote like, why is art so hard? Because we talked about it in separate occasions many different times. The information is very scattered and a lot of it is duplicated. So ideally I would get some help in consolidating this information. But I kind of hate it that the AI changes your language. So it's actually probably best done manually. It's just very intense here. Let's see what I can come up with first. Current session, we have used 71% of our usage already. Very intense. Getting our money's worth. Delete. Get out of here. I have written or talked about the same things on multiple occasions, and so there might be a lot. Okay, stand by for this. %, not too bad. Did we finish this yet? No, never mind. Okay, it's not even close. Okay, I guess we wait for a little bit. Finally have time for a breather. That should be all the information that we have so far. Oh no, that's not true. Wait, hang on. Oh yeah, that is not the true because I have the pure ref ports that I haven't figured out yet. I really do hate myself. Very cool. Okay, so where are the ports? The CSP is here. You mean like draw something, Duvey? Is that what you meant? I don't think we even have enough time to warm up at this point. Based on the experience so far, it takes over an hour to warm up properly. There probably wouldn't be a lot of drawing this week as I try to wrap these guys up. Right, yeah. So the problem here is I have all these idea boards. I don't know which one is the latest one. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And also the live 2D. I thought the live 2D was done in a different place here. Is it this one? Anything useful here? Maybe. I do remember that there is a document for... Right, actually, hang on. This is not the latest version? I thought there were more here. These are all the faces too. Iterations, right? Right. What was the cover? Wonder if I corrupted my document at some point. Let me go look for which one has the actual thing I want. Why do I have two of these? Broski. I don't think I need this. I have this. This is more comprehensive, I think. Yep, okay. Okay. base one. Somewhere in here I have all the information I need, and then I can just pull it in. So this is the base set. This is the original. I don't know why there are so many copies of the original. I know we made one copy just because there's the value studies that I want to pull out, which is this part here. This entire part was pulled out. That was what we just saw, and this part has the base stuff. Now the problem is what is all these guys doing? It's not even related. I just used the same name actually. I'm just gonna call this work. I'm gonna call it 200. I'm not really sure. Zero. Ideas 2. What is this then? Honestly, maybe this is a... Oh. Okay, this is definitely more stuff here. This has more stuff here. Sorry, just this guy. Character design question. Okay, that's kind of useless. This one maybe is useful. This is the precursor to our stylization board's journey and node taking. More specifically about the stuff they've learned from actually studying. Fancy that. I don't know what's the best way to consolidate information like this. Eventually, I guess we do have to have a... Okay, sorry, that falls under this part, right? So that technically falls under this part. In that case, I'm going to pull this name here just so that I'm aware of that there is one other case. And I'm going to ignore this for now. Ah, come on. What? Where did the thing go? So that was that. What is this? Korean. Ah, yes, I forgot about this. Completely forgot about this. So this is also just work, actually. How about this? Oh, sorry, that's the silence. So the true core is actually still just this. And to recognize it, I'm going to just bring it up to 0. Oh shit, I can't rename it because I actually need the names now. I forgot which one of them has the thing. So... specifically that one. There's some notes in here. I'm gonna flip this now, because then it's more of this. Christ, cinematography. I've been very bad at following plans, by the way, so far. Oh, this is computer debugging. Never mind. What is this? Oh, this is a console. Oh. It was an attempt at consolidating just the stuff I want. So it's actually not too bad. Right. How did the consolidation go? How did my cleanup go? Looks fine. I'm gonna trust that it's good. I'm gonna push. Come on. Why is it? Oh, after the read, okay. I can fix that. What is... Why is it in plan? Where did my to-do go? Oh, it's in the to-do section. Cool. I'm just performing some cleanup work here. Okay, I'm just making sure it's in the right folder. Otherwise, I don't care too much. Right. So, and then the other thing. So we're actually, this is maybe in a sense kind of like perhaps a waste of time, but I think it's nice that you can finally consolidate everything one time. So at least like the spaghetti, the mess that we're creating, is a little bit cleaner. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily cleaner, but just slightly more organized, I suppose. More consolidated, rather, in one spot after today. Is this the... Oh, oh. What? I'm confused by this printout. The fuck? Wait, did I? No, I didn't. Huh. Okay, I'm kind of confused by this organization that I'm reading. Can I open this here? I cannot. Right. I guess it's consolidated one time now. That's better than what we have here. It looks like it's just as long as what we have, so even if some points were missed, I'm okay with that, because most of the content is here. Now I just have to manually go through this and consolidate the information one more time manually here. And then everything should be here. But then even then, it's not technically right just yet, because I would like to link it up to other stuff on top if possible. If not, that's also fine. 95% used. Oh, this is gonna choke up soon at this rate. Very exciting. I hope it finishes before this we hit the limit again, because it's gonna have to redo it. Maybe I'll just turn on the extra usage thing. Wait, hang on, is it doing it? Just for this one last thing, I would like it to be done without issues here. And then this guy, I guess I do have to go through this this stack here, but everything else I think is consolidated. It's not as consolidated as it should be, right? Because the information should be presented here rather than saying, hey, go find this thing, which is a huge mess in and of itself. So it will take some time still for things to be cleared up and be truly presentable. But now we have the general index over here. The website is up and running, everything else is fine. All the structures and code and everything should be in cleaned up. I mean, this is kind of it, I suppose. At least for the stuff that I set out to do today, we have exceeded what I was expecting myself to be able to do today, to be honest. My stuff at work is also slowly coming together. I have 2 more days in a week. I can... Oh. What? Can't allow edits. I can, well, what can I do? I can put some block entries together. And then I can get one example of the processing done. We just need one good feature at this point. And then I can let it go for now. 100% used. Very cool. Very, very cool. Anyways. I guess that's kind of it for today. Did already just text. Walls and walls and walls of text. And what? 26,000 characters. 300 lines here. I have a condensed information here. Kind of confused if this thing is this saved? It is not. Do I need this thing? I'm out of extra usage. Are you serious? What? Alright, this is bullshit. I guess it wants me to pay first. That kind of makes sense. Well, in that case, it's gonna be tomorrow anyways. It resets in 2.5 hours. Oh! The session isn't like, I see, it's like 4 or 5 hour periods of time. Huh. Probably like 4 hours. So tomorrow, yeah, reset 3 AM. Ah, okay, reset 3 AM. Cool. I guess we can just consolidate this. I'll just let it run again tomorrow, and then I'm going to save this somewhere. So that's a new file. I wait for this to consolidate, and then I'll do a push. This guy here as well, which is wait for rewriting, and we're done. I guess that's it for today. Yeah, if this was done correctly, then everything is actually working very good right now. We are on track for basically going back to actually doing drawings next week at this rate. That would be nice, of course. Ah, shit, I forgot about this. Hang on. I got distracted, I forgot about this. But yes, thank you guys for coming. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's likely going to be more of the same. So just be prepared. It's a lot of yapping. I just want to add in the last two things that I have here, right? Which would be the emotional management. So that would be 00 emo manage, as well as goal setting, which is going to be up top. 00 what's it called? Goal setting, the JPEG. Yeah, I just expect this week to be consolidation and writing and text and stuff. This week it's just gonna be shit like this. I'm going to, so what's going to happen is I'm going to look at I need to look at this document for a little bit. Oh, it doesn't support opening PDF files. But this document, I need to read it. Where the bloody hell is it? Over here. Right. And then I'm going to find something that I think is implementable. That is also going to provide some analysis value to our analysis engine. I'm going to have it be implemented and then fine-tune it, make sure that it works, and that it's actually useful. Then we can start using it for our Duvet's dailies, for our dailies basically, and try to see if we can spot some interesting patterns that way. That will serve as the singular example to the analysis engine's sort of pipeline and behind the scenes. I can then clean up all the junk scripts. Everything will be clean, sparkling clean, and then it will have enough information for future me to understand what's happening and add more stuff and extend it and eventually develop it into something that is more powerful for our purposes. That is the goal on that end. Website is just getting blocked by the blocks themselves. But now that this document is out, there's also no rush to rush the blocks, because as long as I know the information is consolidated in one spot, then it becomes easier to sort of go back, iterate on some of the old thoughts, improve upon it, and also stay consistent with some of the stuff and progress that we have already made. So that's also good. And then with these two things done, we can then go back and focus back on art. And then either I can continue working on the piece with Faye, which at this point has been is getting a little bit too heavy to do well. Maybe once the two things are, the two script related stuff are concluded, it'll be a bit easier to return to. But then there might be a need to sort of slot in a couple of studies. I think it will benefit me to slot in a couple of studies just to get a little bit of a refresher on what it means to paint, and what it feels like to paint without being so restricted by everything like presentation ideas and like story and character and web stacks and interactive elements and blah blah blah, and technologies that we haven't touched. But this will definitely be done, right? Unlike Life 2D project, Life 2D project was similar in that we spent a lot of time and then I dropped it. But Life 2D is a lot more complicated than this for it to be completed, right? It has 4 different components to it, and this one kind of only has 3, and smaller ones at that. But also, this is a lot more direct to sort of the presentation that I might want to experiment with eventually in storytelling and stuff like that. So, definitely not gonna just let this one go. But yeah, I've also spent a lot more time doing design versus Live 2D's design. Because Live 2D, even though we spent a lot of time, I didn't really get too far with. It's just like a character physical design. Whereas this one has a lot of lore and storytelling devices. So the amount of emotional investment versus the skill of everything, this is still way more doable than Live 2D. So I wouldn't think of Live 2D as like a precedent for saying that I'm gonna just ignore this. I'm trying to convince myself, by the way, not necessarily you guys, but yeah, so that's kind of the planning right now, right? This week wrap up scripts. Next week just go back to studies. Eventually come back to this. That's the final conclusion here. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all. Thank you guys for coming today. I was gonna do gacha today, but then since there are free tickets and I don't really actually want soup lady so much, I'm not gonna pull for her now. I'm just gonna have to wait for the dailies to give me all the free tickets first. But yeah, eventually that's gonna happen, I suppose. Anyways, thank you guys for coming. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys, or not see you guys tomorrow. You know, if the stream gets boring, by the way, like, just please go, just don't come here, because this is really very dry stuff, I understand. But otherwise, thank you guys. Goodbye.